Hello everybody. So I'm here today to work on my first layout for the May Cheeky Studio. I'm on a guest designer and I wanted to show you where I am with my plan so far and then we'll go from there. The first sheet of paper that really drew me in was this Close to My Heart paper. It's Bulk 411, Beautiful Friendship Bulk, I guess it's called. This is the back side. I like that little branding strip. That might happen. So I'm going to use this paper to start. And then the second paper I'm really looking at is this Autumn Beauty number 10. This really great texture looking banana yellow paper. And this is the back side, which is a little bold for what I'm thinking. And then I'm going to add in, because I want to do a double page spread, I have this kind of pearly looking peachy pink, which is really close to this color here. I think I'll use it that way. And it's just from this paper pad set that I picked up from Tuesday Morning along the way. This die cut with a view. It's called the Shimmer Stack. So I'm going to use these as my base. And then the photos I'm going to use are this. I have this set. I think there's 8 of them. Of my daughter Ryan. She was taking car selfies for me. She was all gussied up to go to an awards banquet, and she knows that I love pictures, so she sent me a ton. Just sitting in a parking lot, I think. But she's looking great, and I thought I would try to find a way to use almost all of them, I'm not sure. And the only way I could think to do that was to come on with it as a double page sketch layout. And then the embellishments I'm going to concentrate on are these fabulous looking die cuts of the Wildflowers Set 5, because they really, to me, were picking up the colors in these papers. So I'm going to start here and see where I go with it. I have no idea. All right, I'm going to go ahead and fast forward the next part because I've got a lot of thinking to do. Okay, wish me luck. Okay, you see that I'm going to use both Sticko brand and Thickers brand for my stickers. The Thickers brand, I believe, are the white alphas, and the Sticko is that kind of peachy pink chipboard sparkly alphas. And I went ahead and came up with my title, and it is Every Flower Should Be a Little Wild. And the reason why I went with that title is because I am using a collection called Wildflower that Tuesday Hubbard made, and I thought that should be highlighted a little bit. So that's what I have there. And then you see that I'm going ahead and using some washi to make my pages stay together. Whenever I do a double page spread, I think it's a lot easier to go ahead and attach my papers or my backgrounds to my work surface, so that it doesn't slide all over the place and I can hopefully stay in frame for you. You saw that I was just tapping that that border strip because it's a fabulous plaid in these colors. So I wanted to remember that it was there in case I want to use it. And I did cut my that beautiful floral just into straight in half, 6 by 12. And it's going to end up just about where you see it. Now I also want to make sure that I get some of this gorgeous textured looking yellow in on it, but I don't want it to be the main color. It's more of an accent. I absolutely love the purple and yellow tones together. I like to give myself as much contrast as possible, and I think it looks just about spot on. So I know that I want to use pictures going all the way across, and I know that I want the photos to be touching the yellow, and I just went ahead and looked, and I liked that that it's kind of an orchid, but it has a lot more of a blue in it, and I saw the color tones on it, and I thought it would really bring out the deeper color flowers on this layout. So I was like, that's big exciting stuff when you're like, oh yeah, scored. So did that. We're gonna attach, oh, you saw some of my hair, sorry. Gonna attach these the main band of my layout, and I was seeing what would side goes better with the left side, even though I mean they're going to be separated in an album, but you know, it's just kind of what my eye decided it wanted to do. Sorry you get to see my hair now and again. I happen to not be very tall, so a lot of times I have to lean over and you're stuck having to see part of it. It's just part of the charm, right? So this is when I'm like, oh wait, hold on a minute. I think I want some kind of texture, something, something up top. So I go ahead and look at some of my border punches and I'm going to decide which one I want to use. Those two right there are from Hand-Me-Downs and I haven't used them much. And then there's my notebook punch that I've used roughly a million times because I really like it. And that's the one that ends up winning. And there is a tiny bit of thought process to it. The reason why I thought it should get top billing is because my daughter was on the way to her college awards banquet. So the notebook punch reminded me of school, and so I said, hey, it's gonna have to win, and that was the whole thought process. So it's a little painstaking, but I'm gonna do this, get it all punched, and once I get it attached there, I just like to scuffy it up a little bit because it adds just a little texture. Makes it feel, I guess, just a tiny bit more playful. So I'm going to go ahead and use this absolutely stunning shade to matte some of my photos. I'm going to end up matting them in both this color as well as this great butter yellow. So I'm going to do that, and then this is just some kids craft foam, and I'm going to pop up like every other photo. And I think I'll end up popping up 2 yellow and 2 purple, just to keep everything fun of the many, many, many photos of Ryan. What are you gonna do? They send me pictures, I'm gonna scrapbook them. And the deal is though, they absolutely know that I'm gonna scrapbook them, so it's up to them if they want to send them because you guys will end up seeing them. So here's me adjusting and adjusting and adjusting my photos, but I will go ahead shortly, and once I decide what I want to do and I'll attach them. I think I only have a couple of them like as an off kilter, but I didn't want to be too serious with the placement of the photos. I wanted to be a little bit more whimsical and playful, which is exactly the way that Ryan is. So I'm going to go ahead and, okay, disclosure, I have 2 sleeping bulldogs sitting here. I'm telling you, the moment I sit down to do a voiceover with my iPad, they race over next to me, plop down, and fall asleep. So Mason, who you can hear very clearly, is just in his element. I can't make him be quiet. I'm trying. I'm shaking him all over the place. All right, so we're going to get all those photos down. We're going to square some up and put a couple on a nice little tilt. Oh my goodness. So anyway, I went ahead and adhered all of the photos, and oh, I'm showing you that's my really fab Nuvo liquid glue. Really love that stuff. It has this nice skinny little nozzle, and it makes it so that your fine line bottle is absolutely obsolete. Anyway, attach my alphas, just put them pretty much straight across the bottom for my title. And now you see me scuffing up some of the gorgeous pattern paper. I just thought that it needed just a little bit more texture and dimension. You're going to see me here start auditioning which words and bits will work towards this layout. I'm keeping pretty matchy because I so love this peachy pink tone and the butter yellow, as well as that indigo kind of violet color. It's eye-catching and gorgeous, and it's already designed, so hey, who am I to change the color scheme, right? So that's what I'm doing there, little scuffy at the top, and I am trying to decide if I'm happy with the amount of texture that I have on my page, and I just go ahead and rip things up just a tiny bit more. So this is where I'm going to go ahead and cut out some fun foam, little pieces that I have, because I want to pop up some of these cute circle shapes. And I am also going to be, I'm going to be tucking in those words in different little places and all of that. So that is happening. And also there's tons and tons of embellishments. So I go ahead and go through all of those great flowers and decide what will be able to work on this layout. It took me like actual time. It was so fun. It took me time to go through them because there were so many. But that's what happens when you first get going on a new embellishment pack. It's always surprising how you kind of have to acquaint yourself with it and get to know the ins and outs and all that kind of stuff. So that next time I work with it, I can fly right through it because I know exactly what I have. All right, so here I'm building embellishment clusters, and they were fun to put together. I put them here and there and everywhere because I had so much to work with. So I have flower on flower on flower. I have these great little stem pieces. I pop some of the pieces up, some stay flat, but it's not like you can't see them because they have that white border, so it stands out from the background paper, which is kind of cool. So you didn't have to sit through me adhering every cluster. I used both liquid glue. I had a little tape runner going. I'm popping some of the flowers up. It's going with just about every measure of dimension and fun that I could come up with. I could probably have 5 packs of these wildflower little paper bits, these little ephemera die cut bits, and I'd be happy because you'd end up seeing them on everything because there's so many colors. Okay, stop. I'm going to stop carrying on about them. I do love me some floral. So that floral cluster there had the word sassy was printed on it, and I thought that worked ever so nicely for the photo that it's above, because if y'all know Ryan, you know the girl is sassy. So I go ahead and put that hooray word on, and I make sure that's square even though the photo above it is not. That's kind of my my messy chaos that I like to do. There's another piece of paper right there that says bliss. All right, so that is nice and attached, and of course I'm jumping in just to make sure it's at least square-ish. And I'm seeing if there's anything else I can use in my nice, you saw that rectangular clear bin with the 3 wells in it. That's just from the Dollar Tree, and that thing is really great because the wells are big enough that you can kind of hunch through all of your little goodies when you're trying to scrap. You see that I'm using the Zots, like the little mini glue dots, and they're my current fave for putting on sequins. I'm using a very, very old sequin mix here. I mean, it's got some years on it, but I really did like it because it has yellow, it has, what is in there? Yellow, this silver color, wood grain, and a really bold blue are the colors in it, but I'm just picking out what will work best for my little layout here. So, and yeah, you just kind of press hard down, and it is pretty easy to attach your little sequin bits. I am tucking the yellow sequins half under parts of my clusters because they're really, really large sequins, and I find them a little bit too big and overwhelming, but I do like when they're peeking out. So if you wonder why I'm kind of hiding them, I'm just getting rid of parts of them. All right, what I showed you right there was what I call my bin of happiness. That's all my enamel dots and fun bits like that. And I did end up having a really nice orchid tone of enamel dots that I'm able to put in here. That's just from my stash. I have no idea what collection they're from, but I like to add just those little sprinklings at the end of my clusters. I think it makes it all come together. And you saw me pointing, so that's usually when I've made some big decision. So I think I'm going to go get my mists. Anywho, you see that I have a Vibes and 2 Heidi Swapp color shines that I've decided to use. I know the one, I have Butter, I have Amethyst, I just can't remember the color of the Vibes, but it ends up drying spot on in the right color for this double page layout spread. Okay, so then you see that I'm using my handy dandy little pizza box there, and I cover my photos with whatever random, whatever. Now, don't be alarmed. This comes out super dark purple when it goes on to the layout, but it's going to end up drying a lot more into that tone of those deep indigo-y kind of flowers. So, and the buttered yellow as well. Right now it looks a little bit more lemon, but it does dry into a little bit more of a butter yellow. So it looks really bold, which doesn't bother me at all, but it dries a little bit lighter. And what I end up doing is I end up just doing the mist on the far left top and bottom of my layout, and then I will end up doing it on the far right top and bottom of my layout. Okay, everybody, this layout is finished. It's a double page, as you see. I have to trim a little bit right here, come to think of it. So, I couldn't be happier. I can show you a little bit about what I did. So, I did go ahead and make all these great little floral clusters. And, you know, I do better when I point. Let me find a pointy thing. Let's see. Okay, this is a good pointy thing. So, I have, let's make sure that we don't get a glare. So I put floral clusters here and there throughout this layout. I did cut this piece of paper right here just 6" by 12, and then did a little bit of scuffy in some places on it. This piece right here, I just cut a couple inches off of it and used my notebook little punch. I thought it needed a little something, and the notebook works. So there's that. I have a couple of the great little labels that were part of the goodies that I received, as well as these cute little punch-out bits. Look at how cute they are. My title is Every Flower Should Be a Little Wild, and I did that because this was a wildflower collection. And then I just went ahead and kind of outside going in, I used 3 colors of mist. I used this Vibes and Sweetheart. I used this Heidi Swapp Color Shine in Butter and Heidi Swapp Color Shine in Amethyst. And the amethyst is still drying. It takes a little while, but I do like that it takes it from the outside going in with the photos. I was able to get 8 photos on here, which is fantastic. And I did put, I have this little sequin mix, and I think it's this old mix I have from Studio Calico. It's definitely not new. So I went ahead and put this kind of translucent pink and this bright yellow in all of my clusters. Now this bright yellow sequin is massive. It's really, really big. So what I did with that is I tried to tuck it in and under different places so that it wasn't as overwhelming. And then what I did is I went into my bin of sequin goodness and found this. Do you see this color of purple, which is really close to this color? I put 1 enamel dot in each of those clusters as well. Then I have, yeah, you see my title. It's just a mixed font title. This is foam, this is chipboard, and I did have to use liquid adhesive on the chipboard part. So that is it. This is my youngest being her usual sassy, silly self. But she was nice enough to send me all these selfies when she was a little gussed up. So she looked ever so pretty at the same time. All right, and I'm going to go ahead and put a discount code for you guys. And I have another layout coming up soon as part of my guest design team month for Cheeky Studio. Feel free to like, subscribe, and ask any questions right down there, as I love hearing from you, and I'll go ahead and respond as soon as possible. All right, guys, we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.